Okay, so we're just going to do a couple of homework problems with you, meaning don't just sit there and watch me, okay? You should be doing these yourself. So what you have to do, 20 to 27, correct, on part B? So that's tonight's homework, 20 to 27. But we should be able to do 2, maybe 3 problems with you before you do that. Tell you what, I'm going to start with 22. Because 20 and 21 have a graph associated with it. We've already done one like that, all right? When we went over the other homeworks, we already did one something similar to that. Except it says parallel and perpendicular, but we'll get to parallel and perpendicular after this one. So we'll probably do 3 examples or 3 problems. So let's do 22. Since it's even and you don't have the even answers, that'd be a good one to do, wouldn't it? So they give you 2 points, and we basically just finished doing this when I went over the homework with you. So they give you 2 points, and they want you to find the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that are between those 2 points. So what are they asking you to do? Write the equation of a line. I didn't write all that stuff on there. Write an equation of a line that passes through these 2 points. Everybody got that? And you want to put it up there. Put it in slope-intercept form. So we need to put it in slope-intercept form. We just finished doing this. And what's the first thing we want to find? If you got 2 points, what's the first thing you want to find? The slope. That's right. So you got 2 points right here. We got to know how to find the slope. Super important that you know how. Can you see? It's important that you know how to find the slope. If I give you 2 points, everybody in here should be able to find the slope. Remember what the slope is. I'm going to repeat this again. It's the change in what? Y over the change in x. What does that mean, the change in something? You do what to those 2 y's? You subtract them. Okay, so which ones are the y's? What's the y on this one? 7. What's the y on this one? 1. So I subtract them. Again, it doesn't matter what order you subtract them as long as you subtract the what? The x's in the same order. So if I go 7 minus 1, that's fine. You could have gone 1 minus 7 if you wanted to. All right? I don't know. I just like to go to the first one minus the second one. That's just my preference. But what do you have to do with the x now? You have to go in this order. If I went 7 minus 1, I have to do what? What are my numbers? -2 minus 4. Does everybody see what we're doing there? Some of you guys missed it on the quiz, and I was very disappointed. I thought slope was one of the easier things, but it's also one of the things we're going to do more than we do the distance or midpoint, tell you the truth. All right, we're going to do slope a lot. So make sure you know how to do the slope. Let's finish it off. 7 minus 1 is 6 over -6. That's right, because remember, add the opposite. That's a -6. What does that reduce to? Just, well, -1. It's +6 over -6, which is a -1. All right, so that's my slope. I'll just write it down here, -1. I'll put it in a little box for safekeeping. We're going to use it in a second, all right? So now what we have to do is find what? We got the slope. Now all we got to do is find the b, which is the y-intercept. So we're going to use this little formula. What is the x and y? What can I put in for x and y? One of the coordinates. That's right. One of the points. It doesn't matter which point you pick. It does not matter. You're still going to get the same equation of a line. Which one would you rather pick? -2, 7 or 4, 1? Yeah, I would say 4, 1 would be a little bit easier, right? It doesn't matter. You could pick the other one if you wanted to. You're still going to get the same thing. What does that mean, pick it? I'm going to use that for my x, and I'm going to use the 1 for my y. Everybody see that? So here's what I'm going to use. I'm using this equation right here, and I'm putting everything in. So what is my y? 1 equals m. Just found the m, found the slope. What is it? It's -1 times x. What's x? 4, because I'm using this point. Now, don't use this y and this x over here, because that's not a point on the line. Okay, you have to use any point on the line. You either use this one or this one. We decided to use this one. So negative 1 times x, let's keep, again, I'm putting stuff into this, plus b. Do I know the b? Do I know the y-intercept? No, that's what I'm trying to find, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I do just a little bit of math. So 1 equals, what's this? Negative 1 times 4. Negative 4 plus b. And one more step, and I got b by itself. What do I have to do to get b by itself? Add a 4. So I add a 4 here, add a 4 here. B is equal to 1 plus 4 is 5. And there you go. You're basically finished. I'll put it in a box. That's not really my answer. How do I write my answer? As an equation of a line. Yes, y equals mx plus b. So I write y equals m. That's one of the things in the boxes. Negative 1, then an x, and then the b. What's the b? It's a 5. Now, what kind of 5 is it? It's a positive 5, so I put a plus. Don't just stick a 5 next to it without a sign in between. I saw that on some of the quizzes. All right. Sometimes it was like y1 minus y2, and then I just saw a number and another number, and there was no addition or subtraction in between them. All right. Yes.
Can we just make that negative x?
You can. All right. So you could leave it like this, and like Carly said, you don't have to put the 1 there. All right, but the negative has to be there, so you could write it negative x plus 5. That's a little neater. That's a little prettier like that. And that's your answer. That's what they wanted you to find. They wanted you to find an equation of a line that passes through this. Now, can you visualize what that line looks like?
Not really.
Sure you can. Where does it cross? Crosses the y-axis where? At 5. So in your head, this is in your head, all right? Where does it cross? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. Yeah? What's the slope? Negative 1. So you go rise down 1 and run 1 like this, and there's your line, right? Whoops, missed it. There it is, close. I still didn't hit it. I'll make that dot really big. There we go, now we hit it. All right? So you should be able to visualize what that line looks like, agreed? And guess what 2 points are on that line? This point's on the line, right? Negative 2. Did I do that right? I made it the wrong way. I went down and to the left. What's going on? No wonder I couldn't draw it right. Down 1 to the right 1. There we go. Now let's see if I can connect those. Woo, look at that. That's better. I guess my hand knew I was drawing it wrong anyway, right? So now, let's take a look at it. These 2 points... These 2 points lie on this line. Do you see that? That negative 2, 7 is where? Negative 2, 7, boom, right there. That's where negative 2, 7 is. 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, boom, right there. It lies on that line. Do you see that? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? So we made our line. Those 2 points are supposed to be on my line, and sure enough, they are. All right, let's do another one. Now, this is what I really wanted to get into, is that parallel and perpendicular stuff. So let's do number 24. I'm going to go a little faster on this one since we kind of got the idea of writing the equation of a line. Now this one, they don't give you 2 points. They give you a point and another line. So it says we want to find the equation of a line that passes through this point, 4, 2, and is parallel to this line, 3x minus y equals 1. Picture what's going on. You got this line, 3x minus 1 equals, or 3x minus y equals 1. You got a line. What we want to do is find another line, a different line, that goes through this point, but is also parallel to this line. You follow me? So this is a line. I got to find another line that's parallel to this, but that other line, the second line, has got to go through that point 4, 2. Right? If they're parallel to each other, what's true? What's the relationship between those 2 lines? They have the same slope. That's right, the slopes are equal. So guess what I want to find on this line right here? I want to find the slope. That's right. So how do I find the slope? Put it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to do this kind of quick, so write it down. Subtract a 3x from both sides. So I get negative 3x plus 1. Notice how I scooted the 1 to the right and stuck the negative 3x in between. And then divide everything by a negative 1, so I get rid of that negative sign. Divide that by a negative 1, divide that by a negative 1. This becomes a positive y. This becomes a positive 3x. Why? Because negative divided by negative. And this becomes what? A minus 1. Why did I do that? Why did I find what the equation of this line is? Because I'm looking for the slope. Why am I looking for the slope? Because the slope of the line I'm trying to find is going to have the same exact slope as the slope of this line. So if the slope of this line is 3, guess what the slope of our line is going to be? It's also going to be 3. Now we're going to do something that we've done twice already today. I got a point. This time I only have 1 point, but that's all I need. I got 1 point and I got a slope. Can you make the equation of a line with 1 point and 1 slope? Absolutely. So again, I'm going to write down what the equation of a line looks like, and let's plug some stuff in. Now I only have 1 point to choose from, but that's good enough. It's fine. That's an x, that's a y. Plug everything in. Plug in the 2 for y. The m is what? 3 times the x, which is 4 plus b. 2 equals 12, 3 times 4 plus b. Subtract a 12 from both sides, and b is what? Negative 10. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Again, I'm going to put in a little box. Right? I'll put the slope in a little box. Now we're ready to write our final answer. So that wasn't so hard so far, was it? Go ahead. Carly, what are you going to say? Okay. All right, so let's put it all together. Y equals mx plus negative 10. What's a nicer, cleaner way to write plus a negative? Just a minus. Just put a minus 10. That's a lot nicer looking. And there you go. So this line right here is parallel to this line, but it goes through this point 4, 2. So they're two completely different lines, but they're parallel to each other. How do you know they're parallel to each other? Because they have the same slope. Make sense? Let's do one more and we'll quit. I'll let you do the rest. Let's do 26. Do the evens so that you know what the answers are. Because you can do the odds and you can look in the back and see what the answer is supposed to be. So this one, it's kind of the same thing with just one little difference. We did parallel on that one. What do you think we're going to do on this one? Perpendicular. So we got a line that goes through this point and is perpendicular to this line right here. Everybody good? Okay. So now we're going to do the same exact, well, not exact, the same general thing. All right? I need a slope, don't I? If I'm going to write an equation of a line, I got a point, so I know an x and a y, but I need a slope. Where do I get that slope? From this. So what am I going to do to find the slope? Put it in slope-intercept form. Y equals, subtract an x from both sides, plus 1. So what is the slope of this line right here? It's negative 1. But what's the slope of our line? Our line's got to be perpendicular to this line. How do we find the slope of a perpendicular line? Right, you do the negative reciprocal. You take the opposite sign and you flip the fraction. So what's the opposite sign of negative? It's positive. Flip 1, it's still a 1. So really, what's the slope of the perpendicular line? Positive 1. That's the key to doing that problem right there. The rest is just kind of work. Thank you. Yes, please. Everybody with me? Stop me if you don't have a clue. All right. So now let's write the equation of the line. Y equals mx plus b. This is now, how many times have we done this now? 4 times? Did it once before we started recording, then we've done it twice already, and then this will be the 3rd. Anyway, this will be the 4th time altogether today we've done this. So where do we get the x and the y? We get the x and the y from that point. All right, that point's on our line, so I put that in there. And I also know the slope. Agreed? So I know the slope, I know the x, know the y, and I can solve for b. So let's put them in here. What do I put in for the y? 3. equals the m. What's my slope? It's 1. It's not the same as this one, but I used this one and I did the negative reciprocal to find the slope of our perpendicular line. So it's 1 times x. What's x? Negative 2 plus b. Now it's just a little baby math here, isn't it? Negative 2 plus b, add a 2, add a 2. What's my y-intercept? It's 5. And so I'm going to take both of these and write an equation of the line. So it's y equals m. What's the m? 1, then x, and then the b. It's a positive 5, so we put plus 5. Do you really need the 1 there? Not really. You could put the 1 there. I wouldn't mark it wrong if you put it there, but there's no reason to. I'm going to write it nice and neat like that. So that right there, that equation is perpendicular to this equation, right? Or this line is perpendicular to this line, but this line that we found goes through this point, negative 2, 3. If we had more time, we would draw it out just to kind of show you how it works, but if you want to do that on your own, you could do that. And that's the kind of stuff that you're doing. We good? Yeah. Look at that. I did 3 out of, how many did I give you altogether? 7? Yep. Gave you 7 problems, and I've done 3 of them, almost did half of them for you. See, wasn't that nice? All right, now you just have to do the rest. All right, that's all I'm doing. Remember, taking a quiz when? Thursday. And then we're taking a test on this chapter on Monday. Chapter 3. But the quiz is going to be just 3-5. The quiz is just 3-5 because the last quiz was up to 3-4. Yep, 3-5 was the last one we did, and we're not doing 3-6. So 3-5 is the quiz, and the test is chapter 3.